Today, we are going to make some grass. No, I'm not in Colorado, so it's not going to be that kind of grass. It's our techniques that are so simple and sensible, your mothers would practically build themselves.
On May 24th of 1857, steps were taken to build a church and a school on the site in the area of E Street and between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. During this early period of the history of the community, churches and schools were operated together. At this time, $1,265 was raised as a fund to finance the construction of the proposed building. The first unit, a one-story building, was made of adobe and was occupied, though unfinished, on December 14th of 1857 and completed in 1858. The building consisted of one large room, which served as church, schoolhouse, and amusement hall. In fact, it was the main gathering center for the residents of this part of the community for many years. The room to the left of the two-story building, shown in the illustration, was the original of what later became the Lowell School. The two-story addition on the right was built in 1860. Prior to June 2nd of 1892, this was known as the 20th Ward School or the 20th District School. But in 1892, well, things changed. They changed the name of this school to Lowell. In 1890, a modern, for that time, building was contracted on May 31st of 1892. The initial cost of the building, including furniture, was $64,000 and some change. The 31,156 square foot building was completed and formally opened on February 2nd of 1893. It boasted 14 classrooms, electric lights, wood lathe plaster ceiling, red pressed brick with Diamond Creek stone trimmings. The 6 rock face sandstone basement floor rooms had cement floors. In 1923, the board purchased the old 20th Ward Meeting House at the west end of the school for $24,000, including the site. This building was used as an auditorium as well as for physical education work. You can see here on this 1911 Sanborn fire insurance map the orientation of the school here on the far right. And next to it, well, beautifully, you can see the 20th Ward School and the church. Isn't that amazing? Such a great asset these particular fire insurance maps are. Here's a close-up of it. Gives you kind of a breakdown of where the classrooms were, the heater, the heat for the building, all of the real neat stuff. So good close-up shot here. To help orient you, to the right or east of the building was E Street, and to the top was 3rd Avenue, to the bottom was 2nd Avenue. Okay? And that'll be significant as we go through some other pictures. So here's one. I believe this was taken in the early 1900s. You can see there is a streetcar line running up E Street, and notice the fire plug that's on the far right-hand side. That becomes significant later on here in the video. This was taken in the 1920s, very early 1920s. This looks like at the main entrance to the building, so just off of E Street. Look at the way those folks are dressed. That's pretty neat old photograph here. And this is taken of the back of the building, the back side by the old 20th Ward buildings. Notice those big smokestacks up at the top of the building. Great old architecture. This is when the flagpole was still up on the top, and have no idea why it was there or how you'd even get the flag up and down. But here, this is 1949, and you can see the flag has been moved to the front of the building where it should be, and those big, huge smokestacks, they've been cut down and replaced with something else. So this is a good timepiece here. You can see the 20th Ward building, that auditorium on the left. And here finally in 1950, this particular picture taken from E Street. And that whole flagpole thing is kind of an interesting deal. I got to investigate, find out when they moved those. Well, anyway, this beautiful building, unfortunately, well, on the night of October 29th of 1960, a fire of unknown origin raged through the second floor of the building. The roof was completely destroyed. It is rumored, there was some newspaper articles at the time that there were some students, some children who had gotten in the building, gone up to the, I believe they called it the library area up on the second floor, and had began starting fires for whatever reason. And yes, it raged through that second floor, beautiful old wood and plaster that they had. Just it went up so quickly. Unfortunately, what a beautiful building. You can see in these photos that came from, I believe these came from the Tribune archives, firefighters fighting the battle. Look at that, clear up there. This is obviously taken from the backside, one of the chimneys that was still left in the building. And some onlookers. This again looks like it might be kind of the back side of the building. I'll call it the south or northwest part of the building. That's where this looks like it was taken from. Again, that same area looks like, northwest area. And I'm not sure on this one. This looks like it may have been taken on 2nd Avenue, looking north, I believe. This picture looks like it was taken in kind of the southeast corner of the property, which would be E Street and 2nd Avenue. I believe that's where this picture was taken. And this appears to be that same area. I could be wrong. And you'll notice in this picture here the flagpole, so that's got to be the southeast corner of the building. Yeah, that roof is definitely gone. So this picture is definitely taken from E Street, just a little bit south of 2nd Avenue. You can see on the left-hand side that auditorium building. That's the old 20th Ward building. Again, almost the same angle. Southeast corner of the property. So over the next few months after the fire, the school district undertook a survey to see if it was feasible to rebuild the structure. And you can see here some of the cleanup. These look to be district workers, but I'm not 100% sure. Notice the light fixtures there at the top of that picture. And here, off to the left, is a chalkboard on wheels. Wow, this is definitely the 2nd floor. And you can see it's absolutely gutted. How horrible. This is the area near the teacher's lounge on the 2nd floor. Yeah, definitely crispy. So unfortunate. Another shot from upstairs. Now this picture here from a different source is of the 2nd floor. You can see those strips of nails that would hold the ceiling tile on there, going right down the center. Amazing picture this is. And this is the bottom floor, not the basement, but the bottom floor, and you can see water damage there. You can see the ceiling and those lights, those kind of, I call them flying saucer lights. They're like round. I don't know what they are. They're weird. Anyway, here is the main entrance to the school. You can see the water soaked into the bricks up there. Just heart-wrenching. And places you can see all the way through to the sky. And here is the school district clearing out a bunch of the rubble from inside the building so that they can begin assessing what they're going to be able to do to salvage the building. Temporary fence went up there. kind of keep people out so they can get this thing surveyed. And here's a good view of the old building up top and after the fire down below. Just so sad to see such a beautiful building destroyed by fire. And another angle, this is from the southeast side of the building, clearing out the rubble. So over the next few months after getting it cleared out, the school district undertook a survey to see if it was feasible to rebuild this structure. But water had soaked into the floorboards, and the expansion of the wet wood, large cracks began to form outside the structure. And here they are on the second floor. They've dropped a plumb down out the window down to the first floor area, and they're measuring to see how far out of plumb the building is now, because with that expanded wood upstairs, it caused the whole upstairs to shift. It's hard to even think of something like that, but you can see here looks like about 4 inches out of plumb that the building has actually moved. And these are buildings and grounds folks that are doing this survey. It was determined it was just not feasible to rebuild the building, and the 1890 building would have to be demolished. So it was decided that they would tear down the old building, and on the northwest corner of the property, a brand new 61,500 square foot facility would be finished and open for school in 1964. Some of the features of this new building was a parking area located under the south end of the building, which is to the right of this picture, as well as a heated concrete front sidewalk. Sometime in the 1970s, the parking structure was enclosed and it became 3 new classrooms and a cafeteria. In 2002, the Board of Education decided to close 2 schools in Salt Lake, Lowell being one of them. However, in 2004, the building was used to house the students and staff of Beacon Heights Elementary while their building was being rebuilt. That's where I enter the story. Likewise, in 2005, for the students and staff of Bonneville while their building was rebuilt. And in 2006, the building was leased to the Open Classroom, who occupies it to this day. So as I stated, in 2004, I was the head custodian at Beacon Heights. My building was being rebuilt, and we moved into the old Lowell. And here I am helping one of the teachers. It was a great year. I got to know that little building intimately. It's a wonderful little building, and it's still standing to this day. You know, for 164 years? Wow, if I did my math right. There's been education going on this block in Salt Lake City. Pretty cool. Hey, thanks for joining us.